What sort of things or methods have you seen that help others boost their self-confidence?
So it's a good question. It's also a very individualized question. So I'm going to speak in general terms, but know that there's some very specific things that are very different for every individual. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one thing that's actually super counterintuitive in gaining confidence is actually learning a new skill. So most people would think, nope, don't do that, because that's going to make me feel less confident, right?
Right.
But here's why. Here's why it is beneficial. Learning a new skill, whether it's a hobby, whether it's something that is related to work, whether it's in your personal life, doesn't matter what it is, being able to gain a new skill and gain new knowledge for something actually helps you feel confident, because now you have new information, a new skill, a new hobby that you're doing that is just yours. It's something that nobody can take away from you. It's now new information that you have that is yours and yours alone. So that is confidence building. You now have this newfound, well, just that confidence in being able to say, like, I just did this for me, whether it's to improve your business, whether it's to improve a downtime activity or whatever it might be. You now have a newfound set of skills that you get confidence from. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it hard to do, especially if you're feeling like, I'm not feeling so grand about this new, change process.
Right.
So that's where the counterintuitive part comes from, is it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. However, I say this often, and I've already said this once today, uncomfortable is change happening. So lean into the uncomfortable, because that's where change grows. So learning a new skill is one way.
Right. And I think that I've seen that happen in my own life. Obviously, you've probably seen it happen in others' life. When they actually finally get to the point where they feel comfortable with the new skill, they look back and they see, wow, look at how different I was, a few months ago.
Absolutely.
Versus where I am now. For me, I went into one job into a marketing position. I'd never done marketing before. And it was scary. I was like, man, am I going to fail? Am I going to be, the reason that the company doesn't do well because I don't know what I'm doing? And after just a few months of learning and making some mistakes along the way, I think that's another important part to note, that your confidence doesn't need to dwindle because you made a mistake.
No.
It just means that you learn from what you
Yes.
did and then you move forward.
And you're human.
Right, and because everybody makes
Everyone
mistakes.
makes mistakes.
That's a fact.
That's right. That's right.
So to be able to see where you were to where you get to,
Exactly.
that's where the self-confidence really
Yep.
grows. And like I said, with marketing, that's kind of how I felt after learning all those things and going through what I went through. Now I'm to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really confident in that skill, where looking at me just 2 years ago, you'd have been like, wow, that guy knows absolutely nothing, right?
And then at the end, you felt more confident?
Exactly, yeah. I felt more confident. So that
Great
makes
example.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. So another area where it can boost your self-confidence is ensuring that you're taking good care of yourself. So this is not typically something that people think about, but if you're not taking good care of yourself in all areas of life, you're struggling to be able to manage stressors. You're not able to keep up with work projects. You're not able to take care of your family if you happen to have one, right? So being able to take good care of yourself means I, as an individual, am a priority, which also helps you to say, I'm confident enough to say me first, not necessarily have to be first, but I'm a priority is what it says. So taking care of yourself is a priority. Self-care is important, which again, we've talked about this in previous videos. Self-care is not just the fluffy stuff of like massages and all of that. That's not what that means. It means a good basis of taking care of yourself as a whole says, I'm a priority. You making yourself a priority means I'm confident enough to say, yes, I'm important. I take care of me. So it's not really something people think about as being a confidence booster, and yet it is very much important and helpful to be able to boost confidence.
Right. And I love, I think of this analogy, kind of bouncing off of what you said about, me first. It's not a selfish thing. Mm-mm. It's just a taking care of yourself thing. And I fly pretty frequently. And on flights, they always go through those pre-flight checklists. And they're always like, pull the mask down over yourself before you help others.
Yep.
So it's not because you're being selfish and stealing all the oxygen for yourself. It's because if you're dying from not
You're
having enough
no
oxygen,
good to anyone
you can't
else.
help anybody
That's
else, right?
exactly right.
And so, like you said, like especially with helping out a family if you have one, or helping out in a job space, or at college maybe you're helping another student, anything like that. Like if you're not in the right mindset,
That's right.
if you're not confident enough to help yourself,
That's right.
then others are going to receive subpar help, or they're not going to receive any help at all.
Yep. You can't pour from an empty cup. You
Right.
have to be able to refuel yourself. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I
great.
love that.
Yeah, great analogy. I use that one all the time in therapy.
That's
I love that.
We're on the same wavelength.
We are. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I would say is a good confidence booster is being able to live genuinely and authentic. So whatever that means for you, being able to live from that authentic space and be genuine is something that gives confidence. If you're not having to people please, if you're not having to live for someone else, you know that you're living from your own truth, and that's a very confidence boosting space to live from. So that would be another one I would suggest.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.